Good morning. I'm here at Longcross Test Track today with Supercar Driver and Bell Sport and Classic. Bell Sport and Classic have been kind enough to lend us both this 488 GTB as well as this 348 GT Competizione. So it appears today that we've got the track to ourselves, which is an absolute joy, and I'm going to spend most of the day driving around the circuit and giving you some impressions of what the cars are like, and just have an understanding of what it's like to own both a supercar you can use every day as well as an absolutely stunning classic like this 348. So without further ado, let's get going.
Well, I never ever thought I'd be saying this to the camera. I'm currently driving a Ferrari 348 GT Competizione, one of 50 cars in the world, one of only 8 right-hand drive, and currently at Longmore Test Track, blasting around the circuit and having the time of my life. I've been asked to do this video by Supercar Driver and Bell Classics, or Bell Sport and Classic as they're now called, after a rebrand, to try and give the impressions of what it's like to drive both a modern classic or a classic car as well as a more modern supercar. So nice to be back in a manual again. I just hope you can hear me properly. So analog. There's a dog leg box. So first is left and back, which gives you a much more clean sweep between second and third, which makes a much more kind of driver orientated gear change. And it's such good fun. Luckily it's a big long sweeping circuit. We've got loads of room for error. There aren't too many corners. We can go into the tight cornered area in a minute when I get a bit more used to it, but this car is incredible. Such good fun. Steering is really poised. Steering wheel very sensitive, no power steering, so it's heavy when you're not going anywhere or you're just manoeuvring in a car park. But nice bit of heel and towing there, haven't done that for a while. Oh, this is such good fun. I've just got to take it so carefully. This is a really very rare, very special car, currently for sale at Bell Sport and Classic. The pedals are very slightly over to the left compared to what I'm used to. So my knee, because I'm so ridiculously tall, my knee is bashing on the steering wheel. Bucket seats are fairly unadjustable, forwards and backwards only, but these harnesses are really good fun. It just makes for the occasion. It makes you realise you're in something really special. To be honest with you, this circuit is so long, the corners are so sweeping and long and so wide. You don't get much of an opportunity to go down gears, use the brakes very often. I'm kind of cruising in 4th and 5th. So I'm going to get round to another part of the circuit in a minute where it is coned off and there are some really nice tighter corners. I'm going to have to be very careful due to the value of this car, but I'm going to have a go in the corners to see what it's like. Join me back now in a particular section of Longcross or Chobham test track that's a lot more twisty and turny. This is a lot more fun now. I don't know if it's just because I'm nervous, but this whole experience just seems very frantic. I feel like it's very easy for this to run away with you, and although I'm not going particularly fast, mainly because it's such a rare car and I'm just trying to be as careful as possible, but I just feel like it's so involved and such a driver experience. Not something I'm used to particularly, but it's such good fun. just feels so planted, so solid. The back is a little bit playful. I think on the long sweeping corners like that one just then, there's another one just over a crest here. You can just start to feel it step out, but it's just so manageable. The steering is just such a good feel. Quite got the hang of the hill in towing in this yet. The gated manual gearbox is quite stiff and sticky, so it's taken me a while to get used to, but it's better. Oh, it's just such a joy. It's such a joy. I can feel myself sweating so much doing this. Oh, it's such good fun. I can really see now why so many supercar owners go for a classic as well, because it just gives you such an experience that you really miss with such automatic, technologically advanced supercars nowadays, where so much is done for you. This has got air conditioning, but that's probably the only modern convenience this has got. Certainly no traction control, so I'm having to really be careful here. This crest in particular, I can feel it step out a little bit if I'm not too careful. Perfect. I'm getting the hang of this now. Oh, this is just such a joy. So in comparison, this is a little different. It's a 488 GTB, another car for sale at Bell Sport and Classic. And as I said in my previous part of the video, the idea of today is to bring a modern classic or a classic car and then a modern supercar, and just get a bit of a comparison of what it's like to drive both, own both, experience both. Let's try and move the windows, don't know where anything is. And just see what they're both like, so I can make a comparison and just try and explain a little bit more about what Bell Sport and Classic do now that they've got a supercar arm where they can look after pretty much everyone's full garage. Because I think we all appreciate the fact now that a lot of supercar members also have classic cars, have modern classics, have real rarities, all of which either need storage, servicing, maintenance, and also sales. So Bell Sport and Classic have come to realise that they can offer everything. And again, thankfully let me out in two of their cars, and I just feel very lucky. This is fantastic fun. First time in a 488. Driven a 458 Speciale before. And a 458 Italia, not yet a 488, and this is fantastic. Compared to the 348 that I've just driven, chalk and cheese. I mean, this gives you a very different thrill. However, I feel a lot more relaxed. I feel a lot more in control. I can really see why people go for those kind of modern classics that are still very analog and still need a lot of driver intuition, or intervention should I say, because this does so much for you. However, the difference when you stick your toe down in this compared to the 348, like I said, chalk and cheese, this thing really does go. However, one point I would like to make is this circuit in particular, where the corners are long and sweeping. There's a lot of room for error. Not that I'm making any, I'm not going fast enough, but it suits this car, this 488, much better than the 348. The top speed of this is a lot higher, and it can just manage kind of constant high speeds a lot better than the 348, which just seemed to be screaming in 5th gear quite early on. However, getting back onto the sweeping corners, which we'll do in a minute, I do get the impression that 348 is going to come into its own, because there is something about driving a slower car fast, being a bit more involved, and feeling the road, feeling the car, and just getting into it a bit more. This does so much for you, and I think you're never going to use all of the power on those sweeping corners we're going to go to in a minute. The 348, I got the impression really that I was using a lot more of the car, and that's so much more fun. 98 mile an hour and 3,000 revs. Can't do that on a 348. I guess it just makes supercars like this a lot more usable, doesn't it? A lot more usable day to day. You can just dial it down if you need to, or dial it back up if you need to. But I wouldn't want to do a long commute in that 348. That's not what it's for at all. So we're just turning off onto the sweeping corners now. Let's see, I've got to be careful again. Right on that corner, and every time it just goes a little bit light, and you can just feel it twitch. I mean, it's not your car, it's not a very comfortable situation, but those gear changes in race mode, I get bored of that. As much as a 348 feels really nicely poised and the steering feels very sharp, this does too. To be honest, compared to what I'm used to, this is pin sharp. It's really, really nice to drive. It's such good fun, but again, it just does a lot for you. It's a lot more comfortable to go quick in. Everything's just there, paddles are just there, the pedals are in the right place. And although that is fantastic, and of course that just shows the development of the cars between the 90s and now, there's an element of character with that 348 that I just love. And I've started to really grow to love that kind of thing now, and really appreciate, I guess, respect my elders, so to speak. Really appreciate the development and the technology of new cars, but also really appreciate how far we've come and the characteristics of that. Classic, thank you very, very much for trusting me with this car. It's just been such a joy. Can't wait to write my article on this now for RHD magazine, and I wish you all the very best of luck with the rebrand. Today has been a very long day. Video in the morning, photo shoot in the afternoon, and we're all ready to go home. I think the cars are pretty much empty of fuel now. We've got long drives home, but what a day it's been. I feel so fortunate to have been trusted with both of these cars. So once again, thank you very much for Bell Sport and Classic. Matt and Tim have looked after me very well today, and you'll see these two cars in the next issue of Supercar Driver magazine. I look forward to seeing you soon. Cheers.